Yeah, all right, yeah. One of the things I've been doing for the folks down here at the White Elephant Pub is putting in a little bit of time and some gear. And I mean, our local nerds have been pretty good about gathering us up some gear. And this is not the only stack in the house, okay? But what we have created here is a system that when bands come in and they want to feed us a line out, if they're good enough that the boss man says hook them into the whole thing, we can blast them out to the entire house system or out to the beach. And the house system ain't exactly nothing too shabby. I mean, it's running nice PV impulses, and quite a few of these little Rockville SSG 8s, and a variety of other stuff. And our front stack is running horns aimed at the beach, which I'll get to in a minute. But basically, you know, if a band is good enough, or if someone comes in that they themselves are good enough, they just want to plug in and play their guitar, and boss man says go ahead, they can come in and play their guitar and, you know, maybe make them some tip money or whatever, or just have a good time if they happen to be somebody that doesn't need no tip money, or the guys that are playing. This gives those guys a good experience, because a couple of them have really nice equipment and a couple of them they just can't afford good equipment or don't know where to get it. So it makes the experience nicer, because the bands, when they sound better than they normally do on their little one-piece practice amp, yeah, we get, you see that the solo acts anyway. I'm not really too sure about the bands because I don't know how to judge people too good. I'm not familiar with, nor do I like civilians. I'm kidding on that, I hope you know. Well, all right, maybe in some civilians' case I'm not kidding. But they just feel better. They get into it more. It makes them enjoy what they're doing more, which that makes the audience enjoy it more, because if somebody's up there and they're just all down and burned out and not liking that they're playing on a little practice amp or something like that, you know, it takes crowds away. But you know, the guys are liking that they're being able to be shot at the beach. Second take, boss man. Don't confuse me on this one and make me go astray. Boss man right there. Now this is the house rack. This is only handling 8 channels, but it's only being fed from 2, which is fine. That's all we need. And that's what's feeding most of the Rockies and the PVs. This stack back here is powering the horns, which blast to the beach. And now what I've had to do is I had to have them put in a little blocker here, a little sound blocker, because these are some very powerful actual stadium horns. So we had to put in a little sound barrier there to where it wasn't coming down in here and going in there and then echoing back with all kinds of high-pitched noises that we did not like. And I'm going to try and climb up on this. If I hurt myself, I hate you. If I don't, well, I love y'all. All right. You can kind of see that the horns are in there. Now, they're arranged in a concave, you know, a curve. And then centered in, aimed back at them, is a pair of subwoofers. There's an 18-inch Rockville case with a PV Pro Rider and a little PV headliner with a pair of 10s in it. Those are the only bass coming back at it, and they're aimed at the horns just to reflect up in the canvas so we can get the resonation all the way down to the water line on the beach. And this whole system, the way I've designed it, is it doesn't really bother the places next to us and around us and so forth, or the people upstairs or the neighbors. And it does seem to entertain the beach, because people come in, refill their beers, people come in and grab a soda and go right back on the beach to reading their books. I think I've covered it when I was doing a thing on the cameras a few weeks ago, that the parasailer guys and the RC car guys are starting to fly past our cameras, and then they go home, rip our shit off of YouTube, and pop it right back up on their own YouTube channels, which is, hey, it's okay with me. I enjoy that. Help yourself, bud. If it makes your day gooder, good. Damn, I can't do that. I can't do that gooder and then good, but just count it as I tried on that one. And oh, I love that old boat. And they've got all kind of old neat stuff here. I mean, every time you come in here, something has changed. So it's, I mean, there are people who actually come down every year to see what's changed every year. And a lot of things remain the same. I mean, the static was new right after the shark was new right after the hurricane. These tikis, I think, have been here forever. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. I contributed the guitar for the Florida stage effect because every Florida stage back in the day, you used to have a dead instrument up there. And you always had a guitar tuner up there that didn't work. No idea why on the guitar tuner. I mean, my favorite version of the why you keep a dead guitar tuner up there is that if they ask for the battery, they don't need to be on the stage. And as far as the injured instrument, it didn't matter which Florida venue it was back in the 70s. They always had an injured instrument up there, be it a dented horn or a beat-up harmonica or a Yamaha or keyboard with keys missing off of it. They always had something that was a dead instrument, an injured, a veteran instrument. There we go, veteran instrument. So that's our veteran instrument for here for now. I am trying to find him a dented horn, but and I think the rules on that, I don't know if that's true or not, but I adopted it early, is the rules on it is the instrument in question had to actually have been used in a performance somewhere. It doesn't matter where. And this one, I know a DJ dude his girlfriend was playing this for years. And now back onto the system. What we've done here additionally is we picked all the stuff that in the 70s, 80s, 90s, people were drooling off of this. And now you can pick it up pretty cheap, go through it, rebuild it. I mean, this guy here, I'm down what, $800, big deal. You know what I'm saying? The PVM 2600, I bought the thing for $200, put in like 50 or 60 bucks worth of capacitors, called it good, and she's been a little baby doll ever since. Feedback ferret, he is brand new. The equalizer is waiting for the crown to be hooked up because there's going to be 2 more 15s in their Electro Voice back there. The Focusrite is actually controlling the amps on the bandstand, and I do have backups for him. We've had the Motu that I used to have in the back is no longer here. This is going to be the new power distribution center, but we don't have it. It's actually a regenerator. We don't have it up and mounted yet. For house audio for the radio system, we just use a Digital Link PS Audio brand. DA converter. They call it a Digital Link, and it's actually a nice little unit. More than adequate for what we need, and it's audiophile stuff, so it's way cleaner sounding than all of your normal fare punching it directly out of your mixer into a PA. And what we're doing is we're feeding out of that on optical down to the Focusrite. Oh yeah, I should come back here to the back again. These two, the house stack is controlled off of that Focusrite as well. And the reason that you go with this older equipment and rebuild it for a venue like this is because you're right on the saltwater. There is no such thing as anything electronic that's going to last you more than 6 months or a year before it becomes a rusted out piece of crap. And that gave me the idea that, you know what, I'm rebuilding this stuff all the time for cheap, dirt cheap. So why not give them some of the pieces that, hey, everybody had this crap in college. Everybody drooled over it. Their buddy had one, or they saw it on a stage somewhere. And it gives old guys, old nerds, something to look at. And at the same time, it gives much, much cleaner, higher quality sound than anything made new today is going to do. Unless you spend tens of thousands of dollars, which you don't want to do in a venue like this because you have saltwater right there to mess up any chance of anything super expensive lasting any better than anything super cheap. And these were not cheap units. I mean, hell, that Mac Pro up there that's running the show, he was probably 10 grand when he was new. You'd be lucky to get 400 or 500 for him right now. But and yeah, I did. I maxed it out, maxed RAM, maxed drives, maxed video card, everything. Oh yeah, and that's an M audio controlling the stack back here, and she's capable of taking another 4 amplifiers behind her because I'm feeding both of these on just one's fed on mono and one's fed on stereo. So I've got room for 5 more amps back here, 5 more stereo amps. And now for the house to blast out to the front. I know you guys normally expect me to use Adcom or something like that. No, I actually went with Rockville, and these units inside are every bit identical to a couple of Peavy's I've seen, literally. Outside, they seem to have a different case, but they're really, really, really nice units. And they're overrated, they claim a couple of 1,000 watts, but really do your math, and they're about 500, 600 watts by the time you put them on 8 ohms, which is all I put them on. I feed them 8 ohms, and I make sure that everything is correct. All right. So that's, oh yeah, and I've got little speakers stashed around down here in the cave too. Tastefully blended in. You know how hard that is to do? Like that Onkyo right there, he's actually a center speaker. But he's able to drop down to 75, and I got everything below 75 covered from other stuff anyway. 75 hertz. And we have a little pair of Yamahas in here, and they get fed ridiculously low power so that, you still got a little music out here, I guess, so people can listen to the band or listen to the radio while they're using the bathroom. No speakers in the bathroom, though. Okay, so control-wise, to make this shit easy, what you do is when you're long lining like this, doesn't look like that camera's doing so good. We'll check on him in a minute. So, let me kill that. Let me go here. Go. I want network. So, if I hit bandstand, let it connect, and hit share screen. Boom, I'm already in, and there is my mixer. And it looks like I have 2 down, and they are perfect, and I have 2 up, and they're not so perfect. Okay, so that's my mix for the front. Now that will be changed soon. Let me quit screen sharing here. Let me back up, and if I go to the server, actually, and hit share screen. I just go sign in here. And there I am. Okay, so that's the M Audio Profiler. And that's this stack back here. And then the house stack, his controls are actually two of the outputs coming from the Focusrite, so I'll kill that. So eventually I'll be able to control this from a iPad Pro. There's no way a regular iPad or an iPad Air would do it. It doesn't support it. But I'll be able to merge those into one nice set of slides on the screen to where it's easy for the end user. Now, let's go in. That one we want to stay out of. But if we go into Todd's Mac Mini, he's controlling the cameras, and he does control one more unit out there. He controls the main mixer himself. But that task is about to be taken over by this guy. This guy up here is going to take over for both machines on the bandstand. And he is a Mac Pro, a very, very nice one. I just went through him. He's got the Tizen chip on the left video module, and he does have the AMD video modules. I think they were still called ATI back in 2013, but they might have been AMD by then. And he's got everything in and hooked up. Beautiful. That was for my mouse, so he needs to come home with me because I got a brand new mouse for here. And as soon as I get through maintenance here, I'm going to try, if that GoPro there works, I'm going to try and shoot you a video of how to configure a Mac Pro trash can to work with a whole bunch of really old Mac stuff and a hodgepodge of mixed cameras. Maybe, if that camera works, because I'm not going to do that on my phone. There ain't going to be enough room. And the other GoPro at the house is at the house because I forgot it this morning. So anyway, we'll holler at y'all later. This is just an overview. And like I said, the whole object here is to have really high quality sound. Stuff that's worth, we all perved over back in the day. So it's got, nerd status symbol value, I guess is what you'd call it. Nerd shock value, I have no idea. You can call it whatever you want, but and it didn't take a nerd. There were a lot of normal people that used to drool over amplifiers and sound systems back in the day. And I've got quite the reserve of audio gear ready for drop-in replacements. So if something here dies, like say that Rockville right there died today, I've got a 300-watt Laney that rivals anything made today. I could just pop right up there. But I got to replace some caps in her because she was the last one that died. In the but anyway, there's plenty of stuff that I could just drop right in place, and they don't have to be mixer amps. But I have found that in places like these, not so much in the yuppie bars, but in places like these where you get working class folks, tinkerers, people who actually work with their hands a lot, you get a lot of people staring. They want the pretty lights, they want the numbers changing, they want the meters bouncing, and I haven't been able to find regular old-fashioned sweep meters. This is a 90s powerhouse that everybody fell in love with years ago, and they were actually a rival to tube amps for a while. beautiful, clean, simple amplifier. Works like a charm. Same with that crown. The only beef anybody ever has with these crowns is the fact that they have toroidal transformers. And you move them while they're hot, they tend to crack those transformers. But that's no big deal. You know, hey, shut them down, cool them off when you're done with your shit. Then move them. But we don't have that problem. Our stuff doesn't get moved around. There's the turtle man. Anyway, we're going to holler at y'all later.